welcome to the Narrowing Path, Walking the Spiritual Walk. My name is Steve Van Einstein. Thank you for joining me again for January 18th for the daily reading from James Allen's Daily Meditations. Looking forward to this one again. Yesterday's was a fantastic one about just owning your own personal growth and what that should kind of look like. And that's so I'm excited to see what today brings. So we'll go ahead and get right to it. January 18th. The storm may rage without, but it cannot affect us if there is peace within. As by the fireside, there is security from the fiercest storm. So the heart that is steadfast in the knowledge of truth abides in its peace. Though all around be strife and perturbation. The bitter opposition of men and the unrest of the world cannot make us bitter and restless unless we enter into it and cooperate with it. Rather, if we have peace in our heart, will the outer turmoil cause our peace to deepen, to take firmer root, and to show forth more abundantly in works of peace for the softening of human hearts and the enlightening of human minds. Blessed is he who has no wrongs to remember, no injuries to forget, and in whose pure heart no hateful thought about another can take root and flourish. He who speaks evil of another cannot find the way of peace. Purification is necessarily severe. All becoming is painful. Jeez. Beautiful reading, just about peace. What, again, relevant to me. I just that's what I believe I strive for on a daily basis, and I do this work to maintain, is that internal peace and that internal serenity of my soul. You know, that alignment with the world and how we behave in the world and how we act in the world, and how when we live right and do right and think right, we actually can have that peace and that understanding. And when we can regularly remember where our side of the street is and what is our responsibility to hold, and we can hold on to that peace. You know, it takes practice. That's been my experience, and I'm not perfect at it by any means. I have a long way to go, most likely, but I do a lot better than I used to. And I do pretty well today for the most part. The bitter opposition of men and the unrest of the world cannot make us bitter and restless unless we enter into and cooperate with it. Rather, if we have peace in our heart, will the outer turmoil cause our peace to deepen. I was so externally motivated by a lot of things. I was so involved and caught up in so many things external to my being, and things outside of my control, people's opinion of me, people's perception of me, what they were saying, how people were acting, how I can help save somebody else, what's wrong with the world. I would take these things into me, in a way, I guess. I would allow them into my soul and start talking with them. That's what I'm picturing here, is just like that talking to, or like cooperating with, it says. That's the wording, but it's like we're engaging with these thoughts and with these people. You know, we're seeking things external to us still. And when we do that, them being disturbed causes myself to be disturbed. If I can remove that dependence and I can solely just not engage with those things and have peace in my heart and that serenity in my soul, I will grow to value what I have, that peace and that serenity. And when I run into external turmoil and conflict and these things, my gratitude for those things will deepen. I'll be able to actually appreciate the fact that I'm still calm and peaceful and maintain my composure in those situations, because nothing in those situations can get me riled up, because I have my dependencies and my understandings of the world and my interactions, or the value of my interactions are based within things I can actually control. They're based on the, like, how I can look at what I'm putting out into the world and be comfortable with who I am and be at peace with who I am, and that way the world doesn't, and its effects on the world doesn't need to be a certain way for me to feel value. And that's how I don't have to play with the world when it's getting sick like that. It doesn't mean I isolate by any means when I say I don't play with the world, but I don't depend on the world to tell me my value anymore. I walk with value, I walk with purpose, and I walk with peace. I like the last two lines of this one as well, just to note them. He who speaks of evil of another cannot find the way of peace. That when we're being critical of others in a condemning, judgmental way, peace is not to be found, because to be that way means we are that way inside. It's there constantly, and that disturbs our own internal peace. Then the last one, purification is necessarily severe, and all becoming is painful. If this was easy, everyone would do it, right? That's what they always say, and that's true here. This is not a simple process. This is not a painless process, but it is a worthwhile process. James Allen calls it purification. All becoming is painful. We have to shed those old behaviors and shed those old ways of thinking so we can grow into this new place of our lives and this new time in our lives. And that's never, as much as I would like to say I'm completely willing and I'm ready to let things go, I never fully am. It always has claw marks, whatever I'm letting go, but thought patterns, behaviors, people, circumstances. I always think I'm ready to let it go, but when the time comes down to it, it is painful. The grief sets in, and I begin to grow, and I get to learn, and I get to change. And you start to value the pain of growth. And a common thing I've said throughout my sobriety and my daily living is when I'm going through something large, and I'll sit back, and if I need a little motivation that day or some perspective, I'll say I won't be the same man I am today in 3 months. I'll be completely different. I'll have grown from this, and I'll have so much more strength and perspective that I didn't know was possible. And I'm grateful for that. So, anyway, thank you so much for joining me again today. Soon I will be throwing up a longer segment about what spirituality is and the context I will be discussing it, and look forward to when that goes up. And thanks for everyone for jumping on and listening. And join me again tomorrow. Until next time, thanks.